For over 50 years, we figured we had the moon all figured out. We saw it as this dead, gray, geologically boring rock up in the sky. But then on April 6, 2026, 4 astronauts swung around to its far side, and what they saw there, well, it completely shattered that comfortable illusion. What they witnessed is rewriting everything we thought we knew.
Get this. That's the message radioed back to Earth from Artemis 2 pilot Victor Glover, just moments before the spacecraft vanished behind the moon. It's a chilling statement, right? It hints at a landscape so profoundly alien, so unexpected, it's like our brains aren't even wired to fully process it.
Think about it. Since the last Apollo mission packed up in 1972, our entire picture of the moon has really been based on just one half of it. The Artemis 2 mission basically showed us we've only been looking at one side of the coin, and it turns out the other side tells a totally different story, a much, much more violent one.
Okay, so who are these trailblazers? Let's meet the crew who ventured further than any human in over half a century. Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina, the first Black astronaut, and the first non-American to ever leave Earth's orbit, a truly historic crew. Their 10-day trip was really on a knife's edge. They launched on the most powerful rocket ever built, on what's called a free return trajectory. It's a path so incredibly precise that even if all their engines failed, the moon's gravity would literally just slingshot them right back home. But the most critical part? That 40-minute communications blackout, when the entire bulk of the moon stood between them and Earth, leaving them completely, totally alone with whatever was waiting for them on the other side. So, to really get why Victor Glover's words were so profound, you have to understand something fundamental. We're not really talking about one moon. We're talking about two completely different moons, joined at the hip, the one we always see and the one that's forever hidden.
All right, so the side that's always facing us, that's our moon. It's got those big, smooth, dark patches called Maria, made from ancient lava flows. You know, the man in the moon face. Ancient, brutal wall of craters, smashed on top of craters, with a crust that's almost 50 kilometers thicker. So here's the kicker. The face we know and love, that's the anomaly. It's the exception, not the rule.
And just look at this chart. It really drives the point home. That volcanic rock that gives our moon its familiar face covers about 31% of the near side. But the far side, less than 1%. It's a landscape that has been absolutely pummeled for 4 billion years, with almost nothing to erase the scars.
Okay, but here's where it gets really wild. The biggest mysteries aren't even on the surface. The far side is hiding some massive secrets, buried deep inside its crust and mantle.
The biggest secret of all is hiding under the largest impact crater in the entire solar system, the South Pole Aitken Basin. For years, scientists kept noticing this huge gravity anomaly there, this mysterious extra pull they just couldn't explain. It turns out to be a blob of something incredibly dense, weighing at least 2.18 quintillion kilograms. That's a 2 with 18 zeros tacked on the end. I mean, you can't even wrap your head around a number that big. The leading theory is pretty wild. It's the metallic core of the giant asteroid that created the basin in the first place, still lodged in the moon's mantle like a piece of shrapnel from 4 billion years ago. If you're trying to picture that, listen to how planetary geoscientist Peter James puts it. He describes it as bearing a pile of metal 5 times the size of the big island of Hawaii deep underground. It's so unbelievably massive that it's literally pulling the crater floor down by more than half a mile.
And get this, it's not just some giant chunk of metal down there. Researchers also found a massive thermal anomaly, a hotspot 50 kilometers wide that's about 10 degrees Celsius warmer than all the rock around it. And the likely cause? A huge, massive block of buried granite.
Okay, now this is a huge deal. See, here on Earth, you need 2 main ingredients to make granite: lots of water and plate tectonics. The moon? It shouldn't have either of those. Finding this giant slab of granite buried under the surface suggests the moon had a much more complex and maybe even a warmer and wetter geological past than we ever imagined.
So on top of all this weird geology, the crew was flying through an environment that we humans are just not built for at all. The dangers out there are constant, and they're totally invisible. The moon has no atmosphere and no global magnetic field to protect it. That means the crew was taking the full, unfiltered force of deep space. You've got galactic cosmic rays from distant supernovas that can zip right through the spacecraft and shred DNA. You have sudden violent bursts of radiation from the sun and a never-ending rain of micrometeorites. And during that 40-minute blackout, if anything went wrong, there was no calling home. They were on their own. And this isn't a small problem. Listen to Alexandra Stankovich of the Center for Space Medicine Research. She calls deep space radiation the showstopper. It's not just a limitation, it's the #1 limitation holding humanity back from exploring farther. It's the biggest biological barrier there is. So everything the Artemis 2 crew saw, it's more than just cool trivia. These first-hand observations are forcing us to completely rewrite the moon's story, and they're absolutely essential for paving the way for our return.
And this right here is exactly why sending people is still so important. The crew saw things our robotic orbiters just miss. Along the Terminator, that sharp line between lunar day and night, they said the shadows were so deep they looked like black holes. They spotted these subtle hints of brown, green, and blue on the surface, hinting at different minerals our cameras don't pick up. They might have even seen impact flashes, actual meteorites hitting the moon in real time. How cool is that? And you gotta know, this mission didn't happen in a vacuum. It's part of this huge new international race to the far side. China made history with the first soft landing back in 2019, and then again in 2024 by bringing back the first ever samples from there. Artemis 2 and its crewed flyby, that was the next giant leap in this whole new chapter of exploration.
But the future of the far side, well, that's where things get really exciting, especially for astronomers, because it's permanently shielded from Earth. All our radio, our TV, our cell phones, our Wi-Fi, all of that noise is blocked by the moon itself. It is the quietest place anywhere near us, making it the perfect spot to build telescopes and listen for the faint whispers from the very dawn of the universe.
So when Orion finally swung back around into contact with Earth, Victor Glover summed it all up perfectly. He said, the moon is not just a poster in the sky. It's a real place. And he's right. It's not just some icon or a pretty light anymore. It's a real, complex, and deeply strange world. Think about it. We've found granite that shouldn't exist. A giant mass of metal buried deep in the mantle. The ghosts of an ancient magnetic field. It seems like every answer the far side gives us just opens up 3 more bizarre questions. Artemis 2 has shown us that the far side isn't just a different place. It's a place that forces us to question everything. So the real question is, what other secrets is it still keeping?